All right. And so here we are. Here we are. I am prepared to give you guys a mind blowing opportunity to discuss everything, to uncover. I'm going to uncover everything, blow your mind away about the mirror technique. All right. Very special, important tool for twin flames. And so excited. I've been looking forward to doing this live. All right. And I also look forward to seeing those hop on. I'm just checking the comments here, seeing if anyone has popped in. Not yet. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So the mirror exercise, mirror technique, whatever it is that you want to call it. Okay. It is a very special tool, not only for your twin flame connection, but just for your life overall. All right. So I see someone here, Facebook user, very nice. Thank you. Hi for coming in. The mirror is a very special, unique tool, very powerful. And I would have to say, probably, well, aligning with your soul and balancing your energy are necessities. Okay, they're necessities for your connection, because you're really just dealing with yourself, and so you need to be about yourself as much as you can. And when I say that, I feel like some people are like, oh, am I going to be selfish? Am I going to just forget this other person exists? I keep hearing that you have to forget about them. It's not about forgetting about them. It has never been about forgetting about them. That's a misunderstanding. And, I'm here to explain things in a way that helps you understand the concept. All right. So letting them go, well, you're not letting them go. It's like you're releasing, you're detaching yourself from the physical body, and you're coming into your body as much as you can. You're aligning, is because anytime you are attached to someone or something, it can lead to toxic behavior patterns. All right. I know I said I'm going to talk about mirroring, but I'm going to touch upon this one for a little bit. It's about healing codependency. As we experience child early on in life, we tend to be outside of ourselves, trying to please our parents, caretakers, do what's right. And a lot of ourselves get lost into that. Okay. And then we go into connection, doing the same thing, because that's what we're used to doing. So we're attaching ourselves to someone and asking, what do they think about me? How do they feel about me? How do they feel about us? How can I please them? How can I make them feel happy? I don't want them to leave, and all this kind of stuff. So and as you know, this is a push energy. So you're on them. And the best way to really heal this is to come in within yourself, to be within your body. You can still experience connection, but now you're experiencing it from inside of you. It feels different. It feels different when you're able to align within, connect with yourself, and love from inside of you. Boy, you'll have an experience you never thought possible, and that kind of stuff. And it really enhances your connection. It helps to deepen it as well, not just with your twin flame. I want you to get out of thinking everything is twin flame related. Okay, the mirror exercise is not twin flame related. It's always been this way. And I'm going to use your previous partner as an example to help you understand this. All right. And so, hi, Kai, your videos has helped me so much. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm really glad, because I want you guys feeling better in this connection. Yes, it can take time for your twin flame to come in. Okay, regardless if it's next week, 2 weeks, within a month, 6 months, and things like that. But most importantly, I want you feeling better in this journey. I want you trusting the process and understanding what's going on. It's a journey that feels very difficult when you don't understand it, when you don't know what's going on, and so forth. Okay, so you're here to understand it, to understand yourself, and to be okay. Be okay with being in this journey. It is a journey, a connection. I should say it's a connection put together by God. Your twin flame is the person created for you. What is the sense in feeling a whole lot of pain? I get it. Pain is part of life. It's inescapable and so forth. But when you know what's happening, why things are happening, this helps you to navigate the journey better and to embrace all aspects of it better. So that's what I'm here for. So thank you for your comment, Kai. I'm certainly here for that. All right, so moving back to the mirror exercise. I have to bring up your previous relationship. I love using that as an example. You didn't know this person who felt karmic to you and all this kind of stuff was teaching you lessons, right? You didn't know that at the time. Whichever relationship you can think back to, usually the one that's pretty long, your longest running connection. I want you to go back to this one. All right. There's a reason it ran that long, is because you were fighting for it. It was like you were both fighting for it because you didn't know what to really be fighting for. Okay. Because society taught you that, religion taught you that, your family taught you that you have to fight. So here you are with someone, the energy is off, the connection is off, but you're fighting anyways because you were taught to fight for this person. All right. So while you're doing that, what happens? You begin to lose yourself. You begin to go down the rabbit hole. Let's call it that. You start moving away from everything you've been, that fun, bubbly, outgoing, like having a great time type of person, to crying at the drop of a hat or a pin or whatever you want to use. It's like I'm taking you to the moment when sometimes the pain was too much that you could barely hide it. Okay. You felt unseen, unheard, unloved, unappreciated, and all this kind of stuff. If you can relate, comment on that. If not, follow along anyways, because I'm getting there. I'm getting there with this mirror, because the mirror's been there all along, but you did not know that until twin flame comes in the picture. Someone brings up the concept and you're like, oh, okay, all right, mirror, what is that all about? And stuff like that. The mirror was always there. And when you discover just how much, and I'm not shaming, I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but it's the laws of the universe, guys. It's the laws. When you look back and you realize just how much of that previous connection you created it, then you'll begin to understand how the mirror technique works, the mirroring and all that kind of stuff. And it's not just with a partner, but it's also with other people in your life. The things you're complaining about them, the things they're complaining about you too, and so forth, are all a mirror. If you stop and pay attention, you'd be like, wow, they're complaining about something that I'm doing as well. Or maybe family members might point that out to you. I remember when I really truly saw the mirror, I was told, you too, one of my siblings, complain about the same things. And I was like, really? So I was already introduced to the concept of the mirror. But when I heard that, I was like, whoa, really? So what does that mean? It means that the change you want to see in your connection starts with you first. So that way it no longer gets mirrored to you. So I have to repeat this because a lot of people are pointing fingers and saying, you need, this person needs to change. The change you want to see in your connection with anybody, except some folks who are just grounded in their ways, but they might be showing you something about yourself too, because we're all connected like that. So the change you want to see starts in you first. All right, so I gotta take a sip of water here. And let me see. Oh wow, there are more people in here. I didn't notice that. Hi, Miss Amway, and hi, Vibe Q. And I'm just reading the comments. I remember a while back, someone said this exercise was misused in the cult, but let's see if you have a new perspective on this. Absolutely. And oh snap, another one. I'm definitely here, and so forth. Okay. So think back to that previous connection. Okay, that previous connection you were with. And what were the thoughts you were having? This person doesn't love me. This person doesn't show up for me. This person doesn't care. Okay, you were pinning this on that person. They're not doing X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, you felt very low. If this resonated with you again, you were in a dark place. You had a hard time loving yourself. You didn't know what loving yourself meant, and you pinned this on someone else and told this person, you know, this is a majority of us, so this is why I point this out. You point to that person and say, you need to love me. Okay. However, you might not have been feeling that in the inside of you. You thought love came from outside of you. So while you weren't really bathing in that love within yourself, maybe you were. A lot of times you probably weren't. And you thought this person can give it to you. The reality is, when it's not coming from in you first, they can't give it to you, no matter how much they want to. All right. And then you had thoughts like, oh, they're not going to show up. And guess what? They could not show up, because this is what you're saying inside of you. This is a different perspective of the mirror exercise. There's a few, okay, at least 3 I can name. All right. And all right, so your thoughts, this is one, your thoughts were creating that reality. Your thought was guiding them because of the law of manifestation. Everything you're telling yourself, they have to show that to you. And so with your twin flame, no difference. Okay, this is with anyone, but your twin is your biggest mirror. So you're telling yourself, they don't show up for me. Guess what? They don't show up. And lying is coming to my mind. They lie. Oh, the mirror. When it comes to lying, they're the ones lying. Okay, all right. Are you honest with yourself? Okay. Are you honest about your feelings? A lot of people will say, I am with my twin, Isheen. I am. Not talking about with your twin. With your twin flame, anything rolls out of you. I totally get that. You're like, I can be myself. I can just open up. Or maybe you have a hard time opening up. But usually with twin flame, most people say, I, open up easily with the people around you. When do you let people know you're in pain? When someone asks you, how are you feeling? You're not doing okay. You're like, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. And what else I can think of? When you know that boundaries coming to mind, you have your boundaries. You're setting boundaries for yourself. Never mind anyone else. You're like, I'm going to end work at this time. I'm going to go to bed at this time. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And you don't follow through. So guess what happens? Those outside of you mirror that, especially your twin flame. So when you want to experience honesty and someone to be truthful and show up for you, you begin to do that in yourself first, and then they mirror it back to you. That is a law of attraction. We attract where we are. So you got to keep in mind, if you want to attract that, you need to be that, whatever it is that you're trying to get. Okay, so I hope some of this is making sense. So how do you use the mirror technique, mirror exercise? Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself about whoever it is. They do this, they're doing that, they're doing whatever. And then you see as if you're looking in the mirror and you're talking to yourself. You're doing this. You're doing that. All right. Now, I know what you're talking about, the cult and all this kind of stuff. I've heard their mirror exercise. And I truly feel like it got taken in the wrong concept. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just expressing my opinion of it. It got taken in the wrong context because we want to be so careful about victim shaming and blaming and all this kind of stuff. It's like when someone is experiencing some kind of pain, we want to move away from saying it's their fault. The mirror exercise is not saying it's their fault. It's saying that this person is showing them something inside of them. Because that's what we do to each other. We mirror one another. We're all connected, and all right, the people around you are all part of your soul growth and evolution. The people that come into your life, they show you certain aspects of yourself that's not in alignment, or maybe it's joy too. It can also be used for joy. It's not in alignment with your highest self. What we tend to do is we'll look at the situation, but not try to learn from it. Have you ever had a pattern that just kept repeating itself from one connection to the other? They don't give me attention. They don't show up. They don't. Okay. And why is that? These patterns can repeat from one person to the next because deep in your subconscious mind are some thoughts, beliefs, and your energy is tied into this, your vibration. All of that is going on because you cannot attract something different than where you are. Okay. And so where did these beliefs come from? They come from you as a child growing up. My voice is different in this video. I'm overcoming a cold. So they come from the things you were taught by your parents, whoever was taking care of you, religion, schools, the media, your past life, all of that comes into your subconscious mind and you can't see it yourself. You want to forget it, but it's still there. All that old program and everything has not gone away. And so by using whatever is happening outside of you, whatever someone is showing you, and taking a look at that and finding out how it's true inside of you helps you to tap into something in your subconscious mind that's showing up. I'm going to dive into the different areas. Don't worry. Let me see. Yes, but how to change those things? What if you see them, but they still keep repeating? Subconscious. This is your subconscious mind, guys. This is just one of the techniques I teach to go into the subconscious mind. Your inner child is another one that's going to take you there. Connecting with your higher self is going to take you there. All of this kind of stuff because we can't see. And hiring someone, I had to do it for myself because I was like, I don't want this pattern anymore. I was married to someone for 10 years and that relationship took a lot out of me. Felt like it robbed my soul. And I was like, I don't want this anymore. I need to see what happened that brought this person into here. And you're going to discover ways that you actually push away connection. You're like, I want to experience this with my twin flame. I want them to come back. But there's something within you that's pushing your twin flame away. And I tap into the inner child. I help you do that because your inner child was like, love is scary. Love hurts. No one shows up for me. And this energy goes out there and the other person can only reflect that, not just your twin flame. Anyone that was present in your life that you try to build something, they can only reflect. No one shows up. No one cares. I'm doing this by myself and all of this kind of stuff. Okay. So the mirror helps with this. Let's take, you don't care. Okay. You don't care. I know, touchy subject here. Touchy subject. All right. So you look in the mirror and you're telling yourself, you don't care about me. Okay. Some of you might be offended and be like, but they don't care. Listen, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. The people on the outside of you are a reflection of your inner world. Okay. So when you look in the mirror, you're like, you don't care. You're telling yourself, you don't care about me. How do you not care? All right. Your inner gut is telling you this doesn't feel good. You ignore it. You're eating all sorts of unhealthy stuff. You're not exercising. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not taking the time to comb your hair. You're not taking much time on yourself. All right. And so, however it shows up for you, you know, how it's going to appear for me is going to be different than it appears for you. So, when you take those steps to really show yourself care, to take care of yourself, you slow down, you're eating better, and all this kind of stuff, not only will it emit this energy of, who this light energy that feels really good, because that's what's going to happen when you're taking care of yourself. You feel different. Okay, so it will do that, but guess what else happened? The people around you mirror that. Oh my goodness, this person takes care of themselves, and however it comes out, like it's almost hard to explain, but it changes them, and they're able to mirror that back to you. It's all with you. Okay. And so trust is another one. I don't trust my partner. All right. I know some of you are going to be like, no, don't put me in that. It's not about me. All right. So here's the truth. We can't 100% trust. Let me see. I don't want to word it like that. You can feel like you trust a person, okay? You're like, okay, I trust them wholeheartedly, but you don't have control over their actions and behavior. Let's be realistic with that. You do not have control over that. You can influence it through energy, but you cannot literally tell someone, you need to respect me, you need to do this, you need to do that. When I see people doing that, like, I need my person to show up and do this, this, and that, I'm just like, put yourself in their shoes. If every opportunity they get, they're just like, nope, not good enough. You need to do this, you need to do that. You're going to start to feel like you're not good enough. You're like, you know what? They're asking for too much. It seems like nothing I do works. So I want you to put yourself in this person's shoes and get away from doing that. You're not building love by trying to shape and mold somebody to become the version you want them to be, simply by talking to them and trying to convince them. It's just not going to happen. All right. But they'll reflect it to you. Okay. So trust. How much do you trust yourself? Right? Think about it. How much do you trust yourself? So when you say you're going to do something, do you keep your words? When someone else says, hey, make sure you don't do this, make sure this stays like that, only take a couple of this thing, don't take more than that, are you listening? Here's an example. Like, the person you live with probably leaves their car key, and they're just like, don't drive my car. I'm not here. Don't drive my car. I'm going out. And then secretly, you're just like, I just want to go to the store for a moment, and I really don't want to drive there. So I'm just going to borrow the car. They're not going to know. Yeah, sure. They're not going to know. But guess what you're sending out? You can't trust me. I'm not trustworthy. Okay. So you're not listening to yourself. You're, in a way, you're sneaking around thinking it's okay, no one knows, and that kind of stuff. But yet you want trust from someone else. Okay. It really doesn't work that way. And so to build trust, you have to start trusting yourself first. And this is not an overnight thing. This is something I help my clients with. Okay, for a long time, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our intuition. We don't trust our gut feeling. We don't trust someone's going to show up for us and that someone's truly going to love us, but yet we want them to be trustworthy. I don't trust this person, is what you're thinking by the actions that they're doing, and you're not speaking up and all this kind of stuff. So, what does this mean? How do you correct that? You begin to trust yourself. Trust that you're going to show up for yourself. Trust that you're going to keep your words. And I know we have our human aspect. Our human side will get us into all kinds of trouble, all kinds of trouble. So you really got to tap in with your inner knowing, tap in with your soul. The other day, I'll share this with you guys, okay? So I ran out of trash bags, and I was at my parents' home. And I was like, I asked my father, can I take a couple of trash bags? Because I'm going to the store tomorrow. And he said, take two. Well, take a couple, he said. A couple can be anything. He was like, take a couple. So I go there, I'm taking two, and I'm like, you know what? I really could use three. And my intuition was like, 𝐏𝐶, if you want others to, what was the word they use? Respect, to trust. If you need other people to trust you, you need to, I forget how it was worded exactly. It was like, you have to do the right thing. You have to do what he specifically said. And I was like, all right, fine. So I took a couple of trash bags. And, in return, today I got gifted with gigantic thing of paper towel, laundry soap, and what else? Toilet paper from my parents. Super massive and expensive stuff. They didn't give the trash bags and stuff, but I already had them. And I just felt so blessed. You've got to start listening to yourself. You have to start honoring the boundaries that you put in for yourself. And I'm not talking about boundaries in connection like they have to. No one has to. No one owes you anything. And you can have a discussion. You can always have a discussion about where you stand in things and listen for what they say, because they're entitled to how they want to proceed. Ask them how they can, what is it that they can do to help resolve this situation between both of you, rather than stepping in there and saying, boom, 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 it needs to look like my way or the highway. And if I don't get this, like today, you're out tomorrow type of thing. That does not work in connection. So when you learn to trust yourself and trust your gut feeling, when something feels off, you talk about it. All right. So it's not like we're in connection saying this person is just going to be perfect all day and every day. I'm expecting them. You're like, of course, 𝐏𝐶, I'm not expecting them to be. But deep down somewhere there, it's kind of like we do expect that. And they're not going to be. They have their human aspect. And so when a gut feeling comes in, you are trusting yourself to speak up about it in a way that they can hear you. This is all the stuff that I teach, guys. So you're trusting that you're capable of discussing this matter with them. And when you do this technique the right way, they hear you. You don't have to repeat yourself 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Nothing's happening. Because guess what? This is another thing with the mirror, okay? We're moving into another thing. You're hearing yourself. When you're like, they don't listen to me. No one listens to me. This is your inner child, guys. That person who is younger and didn't feel seen or heard, and they're like, nobody listens to me. And so guess what? People can only mirror that. Your twin flame can only mirror that. Begin to listen to yourself first if you want others to mirror to you listening, okay? All right, and so I'm just going to read a few of the comments. Can you tell me, please, why soulmate relationship never doesn't feel good and twin flame probably never comes back? Who knows? Not all soulmate relationships feel bad. There are high-level soulmates. The way my guys presented the information is you can choose your high-level soulmate or your twin flame. Everyone else is just teaching you lessons. And your high-level soulmate actually teaches you about love. Okay, if you had a wonderful opportunity to meet one of them, I met mine and it was just fabulous. Apparently the karmic one was the one. Yeah, you guys know my story. But the universe explained you can choose either one, but when your path is taking you to a much higher place. When you're ascending a lot higher, it is your twin flame that gets you there. And twin flame do come back. They do come back. Because I know your story and you're feeling like yours didn't come back. I do feel like yours can come back. Okay. I'm losing my words there for a moment. All right. So in a lot of cases, the twin flame does come back 2, 3, even 4 times, and that kind of stuff. Each time this person comes back, somewhere there you are aligned with yourself. Somewhere there your energy had shifted. Perhaps you were feeling good and you weren't even thinking about this person, and then boom, they show up. And then once they show up, the energy gets kind of whack. The voices in your head starts going again, and the negative thinking and that kind of stuff, and they disappear. Okay, I want you to remember that when you were feeling good, you weren't thinking about them, you're living a wonderful life, here they come. All right, they felt that pull. And this is just one way to maintain that connection, is for you to keep that energy that you were in, but you didn't know that. So when they came in, you're just like, my twin flame is here. And then a part of you just really becomes about this person. And the energy just is off balance. And there they go, appearing to run. Okay. And so that's how that works. But soulmate relationships are there to teach you lessons that your twin flame can't teach you. And they do the same for your twin flame. That's it. Once that lesson is learned, that's it. That's all they serve, was to teach that lesson. Now, so many of us, we prolong that connection. We keep it going, knowing it should have ended after the first date. Okay. And so I wish I never born. Then being a twin flame is such an annoying path. I truly recommend healing, self-discovery, finding your life's purpose, working towards that. These are just some suggestions I have, but go into your intuition and ask the questions you need to ask about your journey. Journal it down and start following that path. Irina, I know it feels challenging, but there is a purpose to all of this that goes beyond that relationship with the twin flame. And when the timing is correct, there you are. The two of you are together. And don't give up hope, because it could be literally tomorrow. You just never know. Tomorrow you cross path on the street and so forth. But I definitely recommend healing, raising your vibration, and things like that. It's only annoying if you're doing it wrong. All right. And so the journey is not meant for you to sit in pain. It is meant for you to take a look at it and begin to learn what the pain is showing you. Love that pain because it is a part of you, and work towards healing it. Okay. And it's like saying, I changed the tires, the oil, and it still won't start. But the issue is that the car is out of gas. You just have to know how to fix the problem. Great point. I like that point right there. All right. So how do I see the mirror unfold with couples? Okay. It's one of the hardest things to explain. And if you guys can really come out of, they're doing something to me, it's going to help a lot. And I know it's challenging. Our human mind only sees what's going on, and we're just like, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them. While deep within ourselves, we're like, I don't think they'll show up. I'm feeling nervous. I'm not chosen. They might not choose me. What if this doesn't work? And all this kind of stuff. Your twin flame can only mirror those thoughts. The mirroring is not just things like how you're doing these things inside of you and it's being shown to you by them. That's one aspect. The other has to do with your thoughts. Your thoughts, okay, guys? Any negative thought affects this connection. My twin flame, X, Y, and Z, they're such a jerk to me. It affects this connection. When I see someone say, Like, this is one example that I like to use. It's a divine feminine, was a woman that would say her man, she's worried that her man is not going to be a good partner or a good father to her kids. She's nervous about it, you know? And he will say something like, I can't fulfill that role. I'm so sorry. I don't think I can be a good father. And the woman says, I can't believe he just said that to me. And then I will say, wait a second. Didn't you just say that? And it's like I have to keep bringing her back. And this can be anyone, you know? But in this case, I have to keep bringing her back to, you just told me that you were afraid of that. You just said that. So the mirror is not just, you know, inside of yourself in the way that I described, but what you're saying. So if you want something different, you either have to say nothing and stay open to anything and everything. The universe tells you, make that phone call to your twin. Don't, or send text message. Do not do it with, I'm afraid. Because guess what? They're not going to respond. They're going to run away. Your twin's around. You go into the room where your twin is. There's other people there. And you're just like nervous. And your twin runs away. Talks to everybody in the room except you. And stuff like that. The mirror part here is where you're telling yourself negative things and you're feeling afraid. Fear is coming up, okay? And your twin is appearing to be afraid and you're just looking at them. Believe me, I went through this too, where I was just like, I feel so rejected. Didn't know what was going on at the time. They have no choice but to mirror it to you, okay? They are you showing you yourself. No choice. And then with the laws of manifesting, attraction, and assumption, those laws, they have no choice but to mirror it to you, okay? We can't get around the laws. If you assume they don't want to be near you, they don't want to be near you. If you assume they don't, whatever you assume is true. That's how the law of assumption is. Whatever thought you are having, you're creating it, you're manifesting it. And the attraction, if you're super nervous, you know, you attract what you are. You're really nervous, you're not calm, you're anxious, whatever it is, you're feeling really worried, you attract where you're at. Okay? Twin flames are non-exempt from the laws of the universe. All right. And I did the mirror exercise a while in the past. Wait, there's some, here we go. I'm going to go back up a little bit. Sorry. I did skip over. I was going to go back up. Hold on. Make sure I'm getting all you guys' questions. Okay, there we go. I don't try to mold anyone, but it would be nice to see some follow through, show up for a change. Guess I'm not showing up for myself. No sad face emoji. No, that's not what it's about. You should have a smile emoji. I know, to that comment, you're like, smile emoji? Because the first step to healing is recognizing. Okay, that is something to be proud of. Your first step to healing is saying, I'm not showing up enough for myself. I'm not showing up for myself. You've identified something here. The next step is to begin to change that, pattern, change your thought process and all that kind of stuff. And it is practice. You know, a lot of us, we think this is overnight. I'm going to get in there and then suddenly I'm just going to show up for myself. Healing doesn't work that way. It's like you're taking 2 steps forward and then something makes you take a step back. And you're just like, oh boy, am I even doing this right? And a part of you is going to feel like giving up. Don't give up. You are healing years of not showing up for yourself, if this is what the case is. Or years of being in a toxic relationship, let's say, that made you lose yourself. And now you're beginning to really, really show up for yourself. Okay. That's a beautiful discovery right there. All right. And here we go. Oh no, I must be skipping over myself. I like that comment. No. I have two questions. How to deal with time. Obviously, you're not waiting for them, but when he is not in the 3D yet, when it's been a while, in some cases, years or decades. Okay, all right. How to deal with that? There's so many layers to this. I would love to say that it's just one quick fix and that's it. One of the things that I find is when you begin to really see yourself, to really get into your truth, get into your feelings, like really get into yourself, this person starts to show up. And also when you're a lot of people will say, I was not thinking about them, and they show up. So I get it when you're feeling like, but it's in my face. I'm getting all these signs and synchronicities in the universe, or it's trying to tell me to do things. So it's hard for me to really not focus on this person. This is just I'm hearing mindset. This is just your mind saying that you truly, really have to create a life that you find very interesting, okay, for yourself. Begin to connect with other people, really have fun, do things that you like on top of the healing. So you don't feel like you're waiting. Oh, this is coming to me. This is coming to me. What are you waiting for in your connection? This is number one. This is usually one of the first place I help people identify. What are you looking for in this person that you're waiting, is making you wait? Love, attention, and whatever it is, and begin to give it to yourself. Okay. And it stops the craving. Once the craving stops and you're truly able to be within yourself and start to create this life you desire, it won't feel like a waiting. You won't feel like you're waiting. You'll be in the knowing. I just know it's going to happen, because I feel fabulous. I feel great. I'm living my life and that kind of stuff. And you feel like it's already there. All right. And so there's different techniques and stuff like that. But when you're coming from a place where there's a wait, I'm waiting, I would have to say, is it an overnight process to end a wait? Probably not. But you keep working at it. Keep working at it. And I do give different techniques. There's my Attract Your Twin Flame and Manifest Your Dreams 14-day challenge that starts this Sunday. I actually provide, see how many, there's 12 plus 2 additional 14 techniques to help you shift out of the waiting game and align with yourself. Maybe align with your soul is something that you don't really understand. Perhaps you can see that your twin flame is inside of you and you're aligning with that flame inside of you. Or you physically have to take your body and just align with yourself. But these are just a few of the techniques that I provide in that challenge to help you shift out of they're out there and I'm waiting into I am my twin flame and I'm living my life and that kind of stuff. It takes practice to do that. All right. And all right. So I hope that helped you out there. And when you tell yourself he's not in the 3D, he's not in the 3D. No thoughts. If the thought can't be changed to something positive, just don't have it at all. Okay? Because your thought is always creating your reality. If you say you're running, no, he's running, you're chasing, or she, or whatever, whichever, that's what's happening. This is the law of manifesting. Get away from all of that and just really come into yourself and truly work on bringing yourself to where you want to be in life, healing the parts of you that has been afraid of connection, that has been accidentally pushing this person away. Okay. And all right, so what can you know it's no longer you when it is truly the other person to heal? How do you deal with that? Okay, so you are both a mirror to each other. Okay, it's always happening there. To me, it's just one mirror. If you ask me, it's one mirror. I know a lot of people say, no, I don't think so. The core of what's going on is in both of you, because it's one soul experiencing this journey, just one, not two. This person is you. It's just you. When you can come to the idea, and I have to back up a little bit. This is not a twin flame thing either. Okay? The people in the past that you were with were you. They were showing you yourself. They were showing you where you were in life, the negative thoughts you had about yourself, about connection, your fear about connection. You were worried that they're going to leave you, worried that they'll cheat on you. They were only showing you all of that. So when you begin to just see that it's just you and they're showing you, it changes things. All right, so there's a human aspect of us. You're like, they really did say something that hurt my feelings. They really did do something. I truly get it. You can have a conversation about it. Okay, because this is how the mirror works, is that these they're your thoughts, and in a way create that reality. And so yes, maybe they weren't listening and all this kind of stuff, because in that moment you're like, oh, they don't hear me, nobody hears me, and that kind of stuff. You can still have a conversation, but in a way that they can hear you. When you approach them and say, you never listen to me, or you always do this, always and never, destroys your relationship instantly. Okay? Because they're going to feel like nothing is good enough. If someone comes to you and says, you always, you're never, and that you're just like, okay, I throw in the towel because I'm not getting any credit. It's the same thing. There is a way you can communicate and you stick with your feelings. When you did this, it made me feel this way. And allow them to speak for themselves. Stop talking for them. Stop it. Because you don't know how they were feeling. And 99.9% of the time, they didn't do it to hurt you. Okay? They weren't doing it to hurt you. And so when they've done something that doesn't feel right to you, what is that? There's a mirror there. You're like, oh, I'm not doing exactly. It could be something about boundaries. Okay? They're showing you your boundaries or the way you want to be treated. I use the word boundaries because a lot of you relate to it, but they are showing you that something is out of alignment with how you want to be treated. Now, are you going to listen to yourself? So you listen to that and you express to them. A lot of times we let things slide. We let things go. We say, I don't know if I can. And they'll continue to mirror letting things slide, letting things go when it comes to your connection. Because if you know what I'm saying. And so you're trusting your gut feeling and you're talking to them because they're showing you that. How much are you trusting your gut feeling and talking to them about it? And so forth. Okay. And when you do that, it transforms your connection. All right. But you can certainly talk about it. All I know, being with soulmate feels always so weird and abusing. It can feel really hard to be with soulmate because our soulmates are not aligned with our path. If you guys are on a twin flame journey, so I like to keep it twin flame. If you're on a soulmate path, okay, fine. And so your path includes your twin flame. And so a soulmate is not a part of that path, even though they're part of your journey. They come in and show you what needs to be shown, whether it's good or it feels bad or something like that. But anything out of your path will feel weird at times. Like, is this really for me? Should I really be here? Your intuition might say this is not the person for you. And now you just feel really weird about it and stuff like that. So that can happen with soulmate connections. Okay. And I did the mirror exercise. Did I? I must have read this in the past, but I stopped because I wonder how long do I always have to say I'm doing myself wrong by. All right. Ooh, I like this one. I like this one. Okay, so the mirror exercise is not about I'm doing myself wrong. Okay. I know it sounds like it. I'm bad, and so therefore it's reflected back to me. It is not that. The mirror exercise is, what is this experience teaching me about myself? What do I need to learn from this experience? And so forth. It's looking at from that perspective. Is it that you need to speak up more? That your boundaries have been crossed? Is it because you're not letting people in? You have some sort of wall build up. What is this experience teaching me? What can I learn from it? Okay. Once you learn the lesson, it doesn't repeat itself generally. You've learned a lesson, it's been learned. And then things become easier for you because you've healed it. You've healed your inability to communicate, your inability to trust yourself. You've healed it. And so now you're feeling better in this different version of yourself. And you're feeling empowered, and you're just really feeling amazing. Like, the more you, because it is a technique, guys. It is a technique. Again, I teach this in my Attract Your Twin Flame. But if you challenge, but if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, I have that too. It is a technique where you're learning to really speak your truth. And when I say speak your truth, I'm talking about the one you don't want to talk about. Okay, you know what that is? The one you don't want to talk, you're too afraid to talk about it. But guess what? That very information you can't talk about is the one thing that's going to change your connection. And so once you begin to do that, you go into the fear of, I can't say that. And you say it. You're just expressing your truth, no expectation around it. No ideas, oh, like they're not going to take it, they're going to run. Get rid of all of that. It's a practice. And you do that, it becomes easier and easier and easier for you. And guess what? People are not going to show you judgment on it because you stop judging your truth. Okay? You don't need to repeat the lesson once it's learned. And you're feeling like you're in such a different place, and you have healed a lot of the programming from back then that made you feel like you were in a cage. Okay, so these techniques are meant to help you align more and more with yourself. And so you hear about aligning with your soul, and you're like, why can't I align with my soul? Like, I don't get it. Is because of those layers of things and programmings and emotion that's just bottled up inside of you, waiting to come out. And the mirror exercise is just one technique that helps you identify it. And inner child healing is another one. Looking at your fears and your triggers are even more techniques to help you uncage yourself from feeling trapped inside of your body. You know, for a really long time, you weren't feeling good, right? You were like, I'm in pain. And you smiled at everybody and say, I'm okay, I'm okay. And deep down inside, you weren't. So this is what this connection is teaching you, is showing you. It really is just you. If you look at like, okay, it's me. It's me. Not like it's me, like you're blaming. Like, I'm talking about unity conscious, not dual still. Unity. And begin to heal that. Your twin flame is just mirroring to you those parts that are out of alignment. And you're like, okay, all right, you get triggered. When you're triggered, your trigger is not them. Your trigger is never the other person, ever. Just like their trigger is not you either. But when you're healing, you're able to accept that. Oh, they got triggered because of something about them, not me. I mean, you can have a conversation and say, listen, I don't appreciate you talking to me this way. It made me feel this way. Yeah, certainly. But it helps you to not see it as if it's you. Okay, a person's trigger is their own. So when you are triggered in connection, it's showing you something. And when you take the moment and you learn that lesson, it doesn't come again. And you're less reactive in moments where you used to be really triggered. And guess what? You can experience love from there, not love from a trauma lens. You're removing that lens and you're experiencing love in a way that you never thought you can. And you're just like, I didn't know it can be like this. Yeah, because all of those experiences have been trying to show you, listen, heal that so it doesn't repeat again. That's all they were doing. All right. And so that's your higher being saying you shouldn't be with your soulmate then. All right, there you go. There you go. You know, our higher selves, it knows. It knows. We just have to listen, you know. All right. And I believe it's two sides, your inner world and outside world, but you can't heal other. They have to heal themselves. All right. So this is what happens. This is that separation consciousness again. Don't worry. You know, is my camera still moving everywhere? Like, I am just not a still person. I wish I can be. The other folks need to heal as well. Okay. You have your healing, they have their healing. I'm not taking that away from anybody. But you'll notice as you're healing, they're healing too. Because guess what? They are a mirror. They're a mirror. You're mirroring each other. The law of attraction cannot put someone at a different level in your circle. You will notice the people who are around you are similar to you in some kind of way. Even like for myself, my coaches that I have hired in the past for my business coaches, it wasn't until after a while I was like, well, wait a second, I don't think they're that far away from me and things like that. And then I came to find out they really weren't, but they took a leap of faith and really jumped into it and taught the stuff. And they were learning while they were teaching and so forth. The law of attraction, you cannot really attract someone who's not where you're at. And so when you're healing, the people around you are healing. The collective is healing. We're all in it together. You know, their healing helps you heal. Your healing helps them heal. And you will notice when you begin to hear yourself, they're going to start to hear themselves too, because your healing is trickling in there. Now, they might be put in the path of their own coach, their own videos, their own whatever, but it's in alignment with where you are and so on. And so this can happen at the same time, maybe some time apart from one another, maybe some months apart, where one twin flame had started that healing process and the other catches themselves doing that, or your family relative, or whatever the case, certain friends and stuff like that, you will notice that they'll begin to shift too. Because we're all one. We're all one. But your job is not to heal for them. Like, I'm going to do this so that they, no, do it for you. Do it for you. And the energy is enough to create that push. The universe comes in because you're healing. The universe comes in and lights a fire under their behind for them to like actually do the work and stuff like that, just because you were healing. And you're not doing it for anyone. Don't ever heal for anyone. Do it for you. Because like I said, for a long time, you were in a cage, feeling so miserable and trying to hide it. And I'm not saying you specifically, like in general. So you're doing it for yourself, and the people around you will shift too. All right. And all right. So I've been trying for years. It's difficult when you love with a disability, though. Oh, okay. All right. And I'm not going to go into the medical stuff. I get it, when you live with a disability. And thank you for your help. I'm in separation, no contact for about a year. I feel her around me and it's super weird. I can't talk to this other people and I feel lonely even more. Okay, I'll definitely reach out to you. And you got my initials right there, EO. All right, and that caught my eyes. All right, so I'm in separation and no contact. Two things that need to disappear from your vocabulary. I'm in separation. No, you're not. You're always connected. And no contact. You make contact with each other all the time. 3D contact. I know you're like, physical is Sheen. No, I am giving you a different way of looking at this so you manifest differently. Okay. If you say no contact, we have no contact, you can only experience no contact because your twin receives this as guidance from you, some sort of direction, and the laws of the universe steps in there and says, you know what? No contact. And this person might want to contact you, but they can't because you had said no contact. You guys have no contact. Okay. And so you switch it up or get rid of your thoughts. If you guys can just get rid of thinking about anything going on with them and just stay more within yourself, it'll benefit your connection so much. Okay, because these thoughts that are not in alignment with what the universe is creating for you are just going to get in the way. All right, so eliminate those. And you mentioned, I feel her around me. Yeah, you do. You do. All right. And that's how powerful this connection is. And I can't talk to other people and I feel lonely even more. Lonely, the feeling of loneliness is a part of trauma. Okay. That came from somewhere. It's not your twin. I know you believe it is. Or I don't have someone here, so I feel lonely. And like I said, your words manifest. I feel lonely will manifest more of this loneliness. Even if you have people around you, you're just like, wow, I feel incredibly lonely and things like that. And that requires healing. It came from somewhere. Believe me, I went through years saying, I feel so alone. And then once I healed that, I never felt that way. I didn't catch myself saying, like, those words don't come out of my mouth anymore. And then one day I was like, wait a second, I haven't said that in a long time. Just like that. You heal the root of it, you no longer feel that way. And guess what? When you feel abundant, life changes. Reunions around the corner. Okay. And create a life of love, and your love will find you. It's an energetic certainty. Thank you for your words, Kevin. That's awesome. You've been in separation for 22 years. Again, the word separation, no more using that. And why I never sure I should date a soulmate. Your intuition will let you know. Trust your intuition. I personally don't date anyone. In some odd way, it feels like I would be cheating on her. Moreover, my body just does not crave any other connection. Okay, all right. And that is your soul. So it sounds like you're preparing for reunion because it is, how can I describe this? When you are in that surrender mode and you're like, I'm choosing my path, I don't care what it looks like. I'm going into the uncertainty. I'm going into the unknown. I'm just simply allowing it to happen. I'm aligning myself. I'm connecting with myself on a soul level. You're in alignment and it helps to bring things together. Now, you can, like, for anyone watching this and you feel like you want to be with a soulmate connection, your soul is telling you, hey, there's some things this person will teach you, will whatever. But if you're not getting that, because this is one stage towards reunion where you're choosing your path, and anything that's not on that path, you're like, no, thank you, and that kind of stuff. And when you do that, you receive inner guidance. Okay. The universe comes in and helps you and says, okay, perhaps you got to do this, and that. Who knows? Not everyone, this doesn't happen to everyone. This certainly happened to me, and I had to prioritize the things that I needed to do to experience reunion. And you can't get those messages when you're sending mixed signals out to the universe. Okay. And so, you know, it can be a hard place to be in when you're like, I know this is the person for me, and I'm going to be here, and I'm going to do what I need to do. No one around you believes you. They're like, I think you're wasting your time, and that kind of stuff. So it makes it a really hard place to be. But this is actually one of the steps towards that, towards experiencing your reunion. Okay. And what if you do express yourself and try to have a conversation regarding boundaries, but that's what seems to end things over and over again? There you go. This is your inner child. This is why I teach the inner child that says, no one hears me. No one sees me. They don't get me. And you're trying to have a conversation while this person inside of you is saying, nope, nobody gets me. Okay. And that's what gets sent off. That is what your twin is mirroring. That belief inside of you that no one hears you. And also, are you hearing yourself? Again, I'm not blaming you. I'm just letting you know what happens. Do you follow through on your own words? Do you hear when your little voice says, the gut feeling comes in like something's wrong? Do you brush it off, or do you pay attention and follow through? Okay. You do that, it's going to shift. It's going to change. And believe me, it works like magic. You'll be like, how on earth? It's all because of your inner world. So you want to experience that change. The change starts inside of you first, and he mirrors something different. Okay. And if you believe it's going to end things, it's going to end things. If I express myself, this is what I call judging. You're judging your truth. You're judging the situation. This connection can't have judgment. Let it go. And you're just expressing your truth. Clear thought. Okay. And again, there's a way to communicate. So if you go into communication like in a way that if somebody came to you that way, you'd be like, who are you? And that kind of stuff. It's not going to work. We're a bunch of people walking with trauma, and that's a whole lot of us. Okay. If it doesn't resonate with you, I get it. And so when someone is having a conversation about something, they want to address their feelings and concern. What happens? I'm being attacked, and that kind of stuff. This is, we go into, I want to say victim mode. That's what I'm hearing. They're doing something to me, even though they're trying to open up. So this is what happens with the other person. If the approach, and you're like, I got to pay attention to my approach now. Actually, you do. Because a lot of us come from trauma, and we feel like we are under attack. And so you can begin by saying something like, I'm just simply expressing to you how I feel. And I like something that butters it up. You use, and you're like, you got to butter? You actually do. And there's the, what's that technique called again? It's the compliment sandwich that you can use to communicate. Now, this video is not about the compliment sandwich, so I'm not going to stay on that. But you pretty much start with something nice about that person. And then you go into the meat of the conversation and you thank them for listening to you. Yes, we need strategies to communicate our feelings. And you're like, why? This is how our minds work. I've met someone who said, I don't want to do that. We should all just be tough and strong and talk to each other however we want to. Sure, it's going to last for a certain amount of time before the walls come up and they're not hearing one word ever, and they check out of the connection. Okay. And so you're communicating from your heart to the person's heart. You're making sure that they understand you're not trying to offend them. Listen, I'm not trying to be offensive. This is truly how I feel, and that kind of stuff. And then staying away from, you need to feel this way, act this way, do this thing, and stay away from that. They are responsible for their feelings, and you're responsible for yours. Hear them out. Listen to what they have to say. All right. And okay. Wow, you guys got comments to keep this going. All right. And how much a percentage you saying is worth to leave soulmate relationship to attract a twin flame? 100%. 100%. Now, can your twin flame come in when you're with a soulmate connection? Absolutely. Happens all the time with people. But then there's this whole confusion that happens. When someone is used to their soulmate and they've developed some sort of comfort zone around them and they're predictable. The twin flame is unpredictable. It's going into the unknown. It's trusting your intuition. It feels kind of scary. And usually people are like, I don't know how to choose my twin flame. I'm feeling confused. I have feelings for two people. And it confuses the universe. And in most cases, the twin flame doesn't really stick around because of that confusing energy. It's confusing for them and that kind of stuff. Reunion, the universe is not going to set you up to hurt each other. Okay, the universe is not going to set you up to hurt each other. And so if one or both are in connection with someone else, that it makes it difficult for a reunion to happen, and it makes it difficult for it to feel peaceful. Okay, and so I'm not saying to leave someone for the sake of your twin flame, but you can begin to learn, what is this connection showing you? What lessons you need to learn from this connection? And also, why are you in it? And so these are different questions, but your soul will talk to you anyways. Your soul might give you the warning and tell you, hey, not the person. And so now you're learning how to detach yourself. You're learning whatever it is that you got to learn. But it is way less confusing, excuse me, when you and your twin are not in karmic connections. It makes it a lot easier for your connection. Okay. And so I look at it this way. I would not heal the wounds that need healing if I were with a soulmate. I feel I will repeat patterns, thus pushing my twin flame away. That is not true. Maybe it's true for you, but I'll drink this water. Your soulmate partner, whether karmic, high level, everything in between, are teaching you lessons. Okay. Your karmic soulmate, I learned wonderful lessons from my karmic soulmates. Wonderful. I was married for 10 years and I learned a lot in that connection. A lot of what I teach, I learned in that connection. And that karmic soulmate of mine, I also learned wonderful lessons. In my high level soulmate, I learned how easy love is and that kind of stuff. And I'm just describing the soulmates. Of course, I learned from my twin flame as well, and you're learning from your twin flame. But soulmates teach you lessons. They really do. And a lot of times they teach you something that you're not able to see, and that your twin flame couldn't teach you. For example, I had this experience, and a client of mine had this experience too, where it was like that, that super heavy chase energy. Boy, was I in there, and I was making all kinds of plans on my own, and everything was just like, I gotta have, want to be together type of thing. And it was one of the reasons I left, because I didn't know how to stop doing that. And then I ran into my karmic soulmate, and he was all about that. And it was the hardest thing for me to bear, because it was like I wanted us to talk about other things. I wanted to talk about the stuff that interests us and all this kind of stuff. And he was just not having it, because the pull was just really strong. And I felt frustrated by it, but it let me see myself. what it was like to be in that energy of gimme, 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 gimme. I just want, and not really being balanced enough to allow the connection to unfold and to take time to get to really know each other and things like that. And so, with soulmates, you are shown lessons, your twin flame are shown lessons that neither one of you are able to show to one another. And it's all part of the journey. If you have these soulmates in your life, it's all part of it. Okay. And all right, I certainly do want to get to all your questions, but this is a lot. So I'll just try to run through them. This journey, again, just my opinion, requires solitude to cultivate the self love necessary to draw your twin in. Absolutely. And late, I'm just saying, hi, just got home. Hello, TJ. Thanks for hopping on. That's interesting, though, Kevin, because my twin flame went straight to another girl, had a whole relationship, and talked about another after another, sometimes 4 or 5 at the same time, while I am being with myself. Continue to heal. It's not just be with yourself, it's really connecting with yourself. Connect with yourself, and the universe takes over. Don't forget, it's not just you. Universe takes over and lights a fire under somebody's behind who's not getting it, under your twin. Kevin, after 22 years, will you wait? I really, I'll have to reach out to you. Reach out to me if I don't reach out to you. Certainly, Irina, and lied about it. And I was shocked because didn't even talking, because TF or not, I believe you need some solitude after a breakup in general. All right. You're healing things within yourself. Your twin flame is healing too, or needs to heal. That is not one-sided. The wounds between both of you, you have these shared core wounds, but your experiences are different. Okay. You both need healing. It's not one-sided. So your twin flame, if this person, this person is lying and they're having multiple people and they're not following their path and so forth, it may be an escape from himself. And that may be a mirror where you might have escaped from yourself. And I'm not saying your experiences are the same. Okay. With the mirror, it shows something within yourself. Begin to really connect with yourself, and that shift is going to take place within your twin flame as well. Okay. And they're going to possibly, hopefully, seek healing for themselves too, and ask themselves, why do they keep repeating this pattern? What is it they need to see about themselves? All right. We're talking about two people who come in with beliefs, thoughts, generational trauma, generational teachings, past life, you name it, childhood learning, and all this kind of stuff. And you're coming into this connection with all of that stuff. And so to say you're just simply aligning with your soul is just one part of the story. Okay. The stuff that's in your subconscious mind is still there, in yours and theirs. All right. And as they are healing, once you've healed, your energy is balanced, you're able to create the space for their healing too. Because no one's perfect. And they'll come in with still some of the old programming. And so you love from a higher perspective while they are figuring it out. All right. And so that's generally what happened. But your job is not to worry about how he's going to do that. You worry about healing yourself. So my lesson to learn, be alone and die alone, I guess, absolutely not. It is to really get connected with yourself and find out the root of the things that you're telling yourself and begin to heal them. The DM often goes to karmic. It's how they learn. It sucks, but often the case. Not just DMs. DFs can do the same too. Okay. And should wait 22 years? Honestly, probably not, but I would heal many wounds before entering anything. That's all I'm getting at. Yes. If the wounds are not healed, they get repeated with the next person. So absolutely, you're correct. The thing is, I understand, my mind understand this line like beyond, but my body, my heart, it hurts, and there's no rational with feelings. It's just here I am working on releasing. It's hard. I don't know. That requires healing. Okay, there's some stuff going on. It requires healing, and then once you're healing whatever is being shown to you through that pain, it changes your connection. Can you speak to when you have days where everyone looks like your twin flame? It's super weird, but cracks me up these days. I just have to laugh. It is the universe doing that. You know, it can either be the universe or you're manifesting it, but I truly believe the universe is like, don't forget about this connection. Not like you will, but hey, the universe does its thing. Is he spiritually stalking me? Maybe. I like that. I like that. I think with dismissive avoidance, they often run when feelings are expressed. There's a mirror. There is a mirror. And you know, I went on this for a while in that case. I would have to do a video on this to explain the dismissive avoidance, because they may not be dismissive avoidance. I know we like to use these words. When it comes to twin flame, the connection is different. All right, for years I haven't spoke my truth prior to meeting my twin flame, but what happens when you speak your truth without condemning? They run. It makes me not want to open up again. All right, we got to remember that they have their fears. You know, when a person runs, okay, when you speak your truth, okay, all right. I'm just giving a scenario, okay? I don't know exactly with your twin flame. This person will have to explain to you what happened with them. Anyone who runs from connection is running from themselves, okay? Anyone who runs from connection is running from themselves. I had to repeat that because a lot of times you can be like, they ghosted me. What did I do wrong? I was nice to them. They left. What did I do wrong? There is an unhealed part within themselves. You thought everything was going well, but perhaps they did not. And they weren't being communicative. They weren't opening up about it. Okay. Or they felt like they were being judged or something like that. And rather than going through that pain to have to open up and express what's going on, they run. It's too painful to open up. What if they're judged? What if they're whatever the case? Now, you might be like, I was being truthful, but this is only one part of the story because energy has a lot to do with it. And so if the energy that you're having pushes them away because love is too painful, love is too whatever you were taught about love that's in your subconscious mind that has not been healed, you are unintentionally giving, and you can let me know if I'm wrong. I love when you guys let me know, okay? I'm totally open to it. This is what I see happen with folks that I have worked with my clients. There's an energy that's given off and you don't know that. You're thinking you're doing everything right. You're doing everything okay. But deep within yourself, there is some sort of fear of connection. And they mirror that fear. Okay. So these are the things that happen. And so there's healing on both ends. And the wonderful thing with this connection, it just takes one person. You're like, why is it just me? It's because it's all you. It's not me or them. It's just all you. And they're just showing you something, okay? And when you heal, they're experiencing healing too. All right. And oh boy, we'll be here for a long time. All right. Here we go. Can you speak on upheaval after a breakthrough in healing? Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's going to keep me here. So I will consider this for another video. I recently admitted to myself, I hate my twin flame. I kept myself from saying it because everybody tells me send him love. But after everything, I have to admit that I couldn't feel love because I couldn't admit. Okay. Your feelings are valid. You know, whatever feelings you're having, I'm like, you know, don't fake your feelings. Don't fake your feelings. When you were faking your feelings, it was creating distance between both of you. Believe me. When you can open up and admit that you're in pain, it opens up connection. You don't have to say, I hate. I mean, that's how you're feeling. Hate is a really strong word. You're in pain. It's okay to feel that way from what has happened. Okay. And again, where was I going with that? Being able to love through that pain. It's not that you're sending them love, you're loving yourself. You're loving yourself, you're allowing yourself to open up. You're allowing the person to connect while you're going through this pain. You're letting them know how you're feeling. But when you heal all of this stuff that makes them can't hear you, it actually builds connection. I have seen so many times when people are truthful with themselves and they're not painting a picture perfect thing with white picket fences and living a reality that's not totally real. And they open up about their feelings and say, listen, this really did something to me. It changes everything. Okay. This journey is not about being fake to yourself, it's about being authentic, real, opening up, being vulnerable, letting yourself be seen. Okay. By yourself and others. It's about all of that. All right. And the hatred I felt in my emotions. And so that, I do have to say, whatever your twin flame, I'm not dismissing what your twin flame did and say it was totally wrong. You were triggered. Whatever experience it had was triggering something inside of you, some sort of wound that exists there. Take a look at that wound. Okay. You can always have a conversation about it, but a trigger is something happening inside of you. And yes, I feel under attack with a soulmate. He always chasing me like crazy. Okay. Is our mission on Earth being cleared before reunion or after? Either one, before or after. If you feel a calling, get to it. Just start going with it. Okay. And then you repeated the question. All right. So this will be it because I do have to come off. So mission, if you're meant to be doing a type of work to assist others, this is just from my experience and what I've seen with others, and mission can be a part of it. You're feeling like you need to be doing something. And when you step into mission and you're doing that work, you uncover so much about yourself. You find who you are. You come into this person that you didn't even know you are. And so I truly recommend get started with it. You do not have to wait. If you're feeling guided, always go with your intuition, okay? And all right, so this is it. And I hope you guys took some stuff out of this mirroring. So it is where it is that's showing up inside of you. Your thoughts, if you're having negative thoughts, they have to show that to you. Your energy, if your energy is always low, nothing's good, nothing feels good type of thing, they can only show that to you and so forth. So you use the mirror to help heal yourself. Don't use it to heal your connection. I don't care how it's being told out there. All right. Something's not right in my connection. So I'm going to use a mirror to heal it. This is all push energy. It's just you, just yourself. What can I learn from this experience? What is it showing me? And so forth. All right. So thank you for your participation, guys. I'm coming off and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.